go to processing notes. Next arrow mark போட்டு display.
Dear participants, thank you for waiting. The FDP will comment shortly.
Hello.
Ma'am, shall we start the session?
மா எக்கோ ஆனது பாருங்க எல்லாம் சிஸ்டத்தை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி வைங்க.
Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am? Shall we start
Yeah.
the session?
Yes, ma. Yes, yes. Can you hear me? கேக்குதாம்மா? அம்மா கேக்குதா? நித்யா? அம்மா 1 செகண்ட்மா.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, please, please. Yeah, it's audible. Is it audible to you? Okay. Okay. Yeah, please. I'm just sharing.
Knowledge grows when it is shared, and true learning, which perspectives broaden and knowledge is enriched. Through the sessions ahead, we look forward to engaging discussions, valuable insights, and collaborative learning that will strengthen both teaching and research in biomedical engineering. We are honored and grateful to our venerable chairman, Colonel Professor Velshri Dr. R. Rangarajan sir, respected Vice Chairman Dr. Shakuntala Rangarajan Madam, our esteemed chairperson and managing trustee, Dr. Mrs. Rangarajan Mahalakshmi Kishore Madam, our assistant director, Ms. E. Iskanda Kishore Kumar Vel, our principal, Dr. R. Ramesh, our respected head of the department, Dr. N. Bharadaraja, and all faculty members for their constant guidance and support in making this initiative possible. With equal warmth, we extend our appreciation to the distinguished resource person and participants whose presence and active involvement will truly make this faculty development program a fruitful and inspiring experience.
Good morning to all, esteemed dignitaries, faculty members, industry experts, and dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to warmly welcome you all to the Faculty Development Program on Emerging Trends in Advanced Healthcare Devices. Healthcare today is witnessing a revolution where innovations in AI-enabled systems, IoT-based devices, and smart biomedical technologies are reshaping the way we diagnose, monitor, and treat diseases. This program has been thoughtfully designed to provide valuable insights into these advancements, enabling us to explore how cutting-edge research can be effectively translated into practical applications. By bringing together academic researchers and industry experts, this activity serves as a bridge between knowledge and implementation. It also highlights the importance of regulatory standards, patient safety, and ethical responsibilities, ensuring that technology development always aligns with human well-being. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, resource person, organizers, and every participants who has joined us in this journey of learning and collaboration. Let this program inspire new perspectives, foster innovation, and pave the way for impactful contributions in healthcare sectors.
ಬಂದಿರೋದು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅದಾವ ಎಸ್ ಎಲ್ ಸಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಐತಾ ಎಸ್ ಎಲ್ ಸಿ ಆಧಾರ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಐತಾ ಫೋಟೋ ಕಳಿಸಿರಾ ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ಗೆ
She also served as nodal officer during the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Nandini is a renowned academician and researcher with more than 30 years of
ಯಾರು
experience
ಹೆಸರು
in the field of environment and
ಬರ್ರಿ ಹೇಳಿ
has published over
ತಮ್ಮ ಫೋಟೋ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಾಪಿ ಸಾಕು ಬರ್ರಿ
11 chapters, guided 27
ನೇಮ್ ಆಸ್ ಪರ್ 10th ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್
has earned more than 11,000 citations with an H index of 41 patents through technology transfer and food product development. Her contributions have significantly contributed. Her excellence has been recognized with several prestigious awards, including the Achievement Award, Fellow of the Best
ದೇವರಾಜ್ ಪ್ರಭು
and the Women
ಎಸ್
Icon Award.
ದೇವರಾಜ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಆರ್ ಎ ಜೆ ಏನ ಬರೀ ಆರ್ ಎ ಜೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರಭು ಎಸ್ ಆಧಾರ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಅದ
Welcome to you. I look forward to you inspiring others. Thank you.
ಸೇಮ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ
We now hand over the session to Dr. A. Nyanamani.
10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನು
Ma'am, please take over.
ಎಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಇ ಎಸ್ ಎಚ್ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎ ಸುರೇಶ್ ಎ ಹಾಂ ಇನ್ನೇನಂತ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ
We now hand over the session to Dr. A. Nyanamani. Ma'am, please take over, ma'am.
ஹலோ. என்ன ஷேர் பண்ண முடியலம்மா. ஓ நோ ப்ராப்ளம். தேங்க்யூ தேங்க்யூ சார். ஷேர் பண்ண முடியுதாம்மா? ஓகே ஓகே நோ ப்ராப்ளம். Any difficulties, ma'am?
Sorry for the inconvenience. The presentation will commence shortly.
Share ஆகுதாம்மா?
இங்கே காம்படிஷன் மாடிது இது இவங்க இங்க கேளுங்க இல்ல கேளுங்க அதில் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் இருக்காரு பேருத பண்ண அன்னைக்கு பார்த்தோம் நான் ஒன்றும் பண்ணோம் நேற்று ஃபஸ்ட்டு
அம்மா நானே ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டேன் பாரு. பண்ண முடியுதா? தெரியுதா? தெரியுதாம்மா? இது ஓகே? ஸ்கிரீன் பெருசு பண்ணணுமா? Now it is gone. Okay, one second again. தெரியுதாம்மா? Okay. Is it audible? Okay. Shall I start, ma? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is it slideshow only? No, it's not there. Okay. It's okay? One second. Clear, huh? Is it okay? இல்லையா? Is it okay? Okay. Okay. Sorry for the trouble. It's an inconvenience always. It will be there in the issues in the online presentations. I like to thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to deliver a talk on medical devices and healthcare. And hope I try to cover the past, present, and future. Shall I go further? Shall I go further? Yeah. The whole presentation deals with the following headings. It's the definition, classification, growth of the medical devices industry, and the Indian scenario, what are the history it is there, how it has been developed, and the past, and the present, and future, and the roadmap. I try to cover most of the things. If time permits, we'll extend it. Otherwise, we'll stop in any time in the night. Okay, definition, we know that medical devices, any devices which support the human life or human hair can be recorded as a devices. For example, in kitchen we are using grinders, washing machines, and other utensils and microwave oven. These are all called kitchen devices. Whereas in healthcare, we have to use some of the devices to take care of our health, for the especially for the diagnosis and for the treatment, and how we can able to prevent the disease. And these devices should not be absorbed or metabolized with the body. This is the earlier definition it has been given. That's why we have to adopt this definition. So any devices, any items that it can be used for diagnostic purpose or for the treatment can be defined as a medical devices. For example, we are, I think, as a kind of research, so many number of medical devices. For example, with gloves without during Corona period, everybody knows without gloves and mask we can't able to move outside. It comes under medical devices only, and all the implantable. Whenever we are going to talk about dental issues, so many number of implantable devices are there. So these are all the few examples I like to show here. So that's why the medical devices are the items that can support the human health care, and that can evolve in such a way that so that it can able to assist the physician or a surgeon to recover from the disease or the preventing the disease. Okay, there is a different kind of classification. So, for example, we can't able to consider all the medical devices as a one kind of class. So, FDA has approved this kind of characterization. In that, there's three different classes: class one, class two, class three. Class one is based on the risk levels. It has been classified. It has a low risk. Class one items are low risk levels. We know that it is not going to integrate with our body system. It is like a surface applications will be there in that. So it has been there for the minimum period and it should not pose any kind of risk or injury. So these kind of items are coming under class one. For example, bandages, gloves, as already we have seen that. And if you surgical items, they are going to integrate with the body systems and they will be there for minimum period, like kind of creams, wound creams and other things. If any people are working on startups and other things, they can able to class one, they are planned to develop many medical devices. Class one is the best option because why I'm saying is the regulations, the DCGA regulations are very minimum. It is easy for you people to get license for this kind of or approval for this kind of class one materials. Coming to class two, it's a kind of risk is there, but it is moderate. But most of the things will be externally given to the patient or the treated patients over there. For example, infusion pumps and other things. There is some risk if there is any change in the flow of the material or any kind of thing, there will be a change. So that's why it has been risky. 60% risk is devices are coming in the classroom, and there is some degree of risk is also there. In that. These kind of people are now working in class two systems. Though there is a risk, they want to come up with a startup because now India is facing a very good demand for the medical devices. If anybody is interested in devising any kind of medical devices, I am doing consultancy. You can contact them at any time. And class three, there is a high risk is there in that their advancement is still coming up, coming every day, and new inventions are coming up, new technologies are coming up, though the risk is high, but we are in a demand. Because what are the development of medical devices we are going to take it as a consideration? There is a demand. If there is a demand, there is a technology development, and there is an increase in the growth rate. That's right. Nowadays, we are facing so many number of heart issues and the cancer types of issues for removal of tissues and other things. So we need to have external devices to support the system. So these items are coming in the class 3. For that, the approval is very risky and you have to submit so many number of documents with the proven record and other things. So it is not easy to get license for this class 3 items because it needs intensive research and developmental study as well as the application study and the clinical studies. So these are the classification that has been there in the global level. It has been accepted. So coming to the growth of the industry, you can't even imagine that how far these medical devices have shown a high increase in terms of high risk. That is what is that in terms of the growth. I want to say that. So this is from 1950 and after 2000 and 2020 there is a exponential way of growth that has been there in that, and because it seems that equally there are number of diseases has come up. We are exposed to so many number of pollutants, so many number of diseases. Unknowingly, we are exposed and we are getting number of diseases. For that to recover from that, we have to have some medical assistance. That medical assistance is given by medical devices. That's why there are 500,000 types of medical devices are there in the market. Imagine that what is the growth? It has been grown like anything over there. That's why India is making the program come up for startup and devise something. We should be our own medical devices because we are importing number of devices. Coming to Indian scenario, what kind of market is available in India? India can be recognized as the fourth largest Asian medical devices market, but still we have a very big gap over here. We have some clusters are shown over here. There is some clusters over here. Here you can see majorly in terms of your south and west regions are there in that. So these are the major clusters are developing are involved in the medical devices manufacturers over here, and our growth is exponential here. And the top medical devices competitors are nothing but Philips. We know that GE Healthcare are already involved in that. Medtronic, Johnson Johnson is a global company, but they also are involved in that kind of medical devices in India and Abad and Hindustan Syringes and medical devices. These are the major companies. They are the competitors in developing medical devices. Okay, India, what kind of medical devices we are manufacturing? India manufactures mainly the catheters and perfusions, extension lines, cannula, all pretty small items only we are manufacturing. We are not going to have a kind of heart walls or the artificial lungs and everything. So, but still, the research are going on. I am not going to say that the research is going on. But it takes a number of years to develop in the kind of medical devices at the global market. So we are involved in some, we know that the orthopedic implants, we are leading. And moreover, in the kind of intraocular lenses, we are the leaders in that medical devices. And the stunt, we just started up and we are just making it over here. So these are the major items that have been developed in India, and most of the manufacturers are targeting. Further, the demand is more high, but we can't able to make it as a kind of export kind of things. It is not completely recognized by the global. We satisfied ourselves the demand or the need for our country and for our people. And if you can see that more than 70 to 80% medical devices are imported. This is where we are lacking over here. We need intensive research. We need young generations to come up for the research for development of any kind of medical devices to ease the treatment or to use the care to support the human health as well as for the physicians or the surgeons. So that's why Make in India program in the budget, union budget, Indian government has given so much amount of money, rupees 9.858, that is around 11 billion US dollars has been given for the health sector. But still, it is of the kind of research. Zero, I can say it is zero level. We need to have more intensive research on that. Okay, coming to the history, where the medical devices has been started, when it has been given, why it has been coming up to the highest level of global attraction, why it's always these medical devices are there in the limelight. In early period, we don't have this kind of devices. We may not face any kind of health impacts. For example, cancer kind of studies or amputation kind of studies. There, the major issues mainly due to the war. During the wartime, the bullets and other wounds and the skin incision, everything will be there. There, people are giving importance. Not kind of any kind of diseases, internal organ replacement diseases are not encountered during the period of earlier period. So, for example, in some cases, they are using copper surgery, some small instruments they are used on. Here, the major important thing we can able to see the development of medical devices 18th century, before 18th century and after 18th century. Before 18th century, the most important one, invention and the device is the scalpel. Scalpel, we know that all the researchers who have done the animal model experiments, those scalpel we can't do any kind of incision or any kind of hair removal and other things. This scalpel plays a major role over here. Till this time, though it has been invented in the 18th century, till this time it is under use. We have to appreciate the inventor for this kind of things. And these are the developments over here. And moreover, the Hippocrates, that is the father of the medicine, we know that he has mentioned about 200 surgical instruments in his writings. But they are not in the kind of what we are using. It is maybe in the kind of stone-based or wooden-based items are there to remove the bullets in the wound, inside the body tissues, or to manage the tissue or the other things. And for example, as already 5,000 years ago, what are the items? They simply use scalpels, forceps, needles. These are the things. With that, they can able to recover the human body, or they have to treat the patients over here. So for whatever the incision wound, whatever the cut they want to make, they use only the scalpels. It is only the stainless. Earlier it was there with the kind of stones. Now it has been kind of stainless steel and bronze kind of thing is there. So for it has even a small tissue opening it can be used. And for the punctures, they use needles. The needles are in the form of this one stones also. After that, the metallic based needles have come up. So for the punctures, they use these needles. And the hooks, for example, nowadays we are using hooks and other things. In the earlier period, if we can able to see how they are being hooked, the blood vessels, whenever they are going to remove this bullet, they just make the hook with the kind of wooden or kind of hook with the kind of metal base. They just remove the bullet and they can stitch over here. So the hooks will be used, and the handles, mainly the handles are there to remove the parts of the skull, and in the lobotomy they can use the handles. And the forceps, we know that like scalpels, forceps are immensely used for the human tissues operations and other things. And the suturing, they use normal food forms. For example, any kind of earlier they use leather based thread and other things, needle, any kind of stone based needle they have used. So all these are made up of, all these are the 5,000 years ago. Imagine that time they are gifted, they don't have any kind of health issues. It can be treated, only this kind of medical devices enough for them to get back to their life. So they are made up of stones and other things. After that, silver, gold, and based on the development of chemical technologies and innovations and research and development, all these stone-based items are removed, and we are just using the silver or bronze or gold, copper or titanium materials are in use. Okay. Moreover, there is a question: how they have used prescriptions? What kind of prescriptions they have given? They used mud or clay tablet. It is a kind of sheet, mud sheet will be there. They just engraved a kind of what kind of prescription for that particular patient. That is, for example, it has been shown over there. It's a kind of cradle of civilization. They say that it's a kind of earlier civilization. They use mud clay tablet. They are saying that in that they were prescribed in their own language, in Egyptian and Marxism, they are using some this kind of languages. They just scribbled over there in the mud, and it has been given. And what kind of prescription they were given? Because we have nowadays modern medicines and modern tablets, all those things have come up. What kind of medicines they have given? There is nothing but the herbs and all. They just go along with the natural available materials. So oils and herbs will be there in their prescription, and not much surgical instruments they have used. And they try to use a stone. After that, they try to use the stone and other methods. And the 17th century, we don't mainly the war on the battlefields they used. And mostly, as I already told, they won't face that kind of health issues over there at that period. Only the soldiers they are trying to recover, and the rich people they are come up. Even at that time we don't have much kind of economy over there. So only the rich, if they face any issues, they have gone to hospital and they can be treated only. And they use knives, guns, and this is the earlier period. And this is, if you can see that, what kind of handles, if there is a skull opening there in the wall, they just, to fix it, they just use this kind of medical devices. And for the facial and dental issues, they use this kind of devices for to help the people and other things. We can't able to see nowadays. We are much developed over here. Even a simple kind of item we can't able to bear with even the dental issues. We are going for the dentist. If you put any kind of any foreign body, it will be affecting for your the whole mouth, or if you can't able to talk. But here you can see the whole face is covered with the devices to keep your implant and other things in a kind of static condition. So these are the earlier period it has been there. This is what we call before 18th century. After that, the groundbreaking era of hello, hello, hello. Shall I continue?
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, voice not clear, ma'am.
Voice not clear. Is it okay
Yes,
now?
ma'am.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Now okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. After 18th century, before 18th century, we have seen that there is a kind of medical devices and it is scary kind of medical devices it has been used and people are not prepared to go to hospital to have this kind of treatment and other things. Whereas after 18th century, there is a big great breakthrough in the medical devices, innovations and other things. And we have stethoscope, we have designed syringes, mainly the hypodermic syringes, electrocardiogram, ECG machines, hearing aid, and mainly the X-ray machines. These are developed during the period of the 19th century, that is after 18th century. So, and moreover, one important thing is we have got very good nitrous oxide as an anesthetic agent. It has been developed over there. These are the major innovations and devices it has been given. And after 19th century, that is during 20th century, there is an explosion in the items of medical devices. What are these? These are the we can able to replace the parts. The hip and knee replacements have been explored over there, and the cardio defibrillator has been there. Insulin pumps was there, and the pacemakers. These are mainly for the internal organs. And the 20th century is the kind of explosion of medical devices. And what happened to the 21st century? We know that the robotics and the AI and the ML play the major role over here. It's a kind of, we can't even imagine how these robotic systems or robotic surgery is support the human system. And what about the AI and the ML can able to give a very good precision and accuracy in treatment over here. So these are the history and the present and past. Okay, for developing this kind of issues, we have to have a biological background and we have to have the bioengineering systems. What kind of bioengineering is there? Bioengineering is the knowledge to engineering knowledge and process to understanding the human body. Its interaction with the machines. For example, whatever the development, whatever the research development, we should in fact, it has the interaction machines and the human body so that we can able to improve the working condition or developing new or improved medical devices on that. Okay, the major, I want to give one example because whenever you are going for bioengineering or biomedical engineering, there are so many number of advanced materials are lined up and still there is a long gap over there. I am just to give the one kind of bioengineered material. Here it is a hemostatic material. We know that when there is a wound or anything, the blood will any accident, you can see the pool of blood in the floor or any kind of wherever the accident happens. It leads to the pattern to the patient or the victim. It is our duty to control the blood flow. For that, though we have a kind of inherent blood clotting factors over there, but the demand for this hemostatic material is really high. If people are interested in this kind of developing hemostatic material and you have the very high market value over it, you please understand that the research focus on hemostatic material and the market is very high over there. So we know that when there is an injury, blood vessels are coming out, and for that time it is a construction, construction will be there in that, and the platelet is coming up, and the fibrin forms, and the blood will be blood flow will be stopped, and the clot will be there, the fibrogen will form over there. This is a kind of general diagnosis over there, but it has a kind of very good research in globally. People are looking for a potential hemostatic material, and these are the examples of hemostatic material. We have organic hemostatic material, natural polymers, synthetic polymers, as well as the composite material also. It's a combination of natural and organic or natural and synthetic materials are there. Purine, zeolite, in earlier period, even if you can see any movie in the olden days, they said if you fall on the ground, any kids, just put some soil over the surface so that it will stop the blood flow. like that it will be there. If it is a small one, is okay. If it is a large, there is a long vein that has been cut and the blood is producing out. We have to have any material to stop the blood flow. For that, there is a kind of materials are available. People are developing, engineering these kind of natural polymer. For example, chitin, collagen, and synthetic polymers, that is polyurethane, polyvinyl, or polylactic acid. Everything plays a very good role over there in that. But still, India is facing, we don't have much hemostatic material in the market. So globally recognized hemostatic material is not available in the market. That's why I am requesting you people to just work on this kind of material, come up with a new product and with the Make in India. There are so many number of startups that have come up. But still, we have to go a long way to prove ourselves. We have very good brain to work on the medical devices. We should not depend on other countries. Nowadays, we know that how US is blaming how US is posing problem to India. And, we don't know about what Russia is going to do with us, what UAE is going to do with us. So we have to prepare ourselves to meet our own demand and other things. And this image will show you Edison. You know that is from the crab and other things, center of the matrix. These are the gender hemostatic material. Everything is available. But why no product has come up? Because our regulations are like that. We have to cross number of hurdles over there when the product is coming from lab to market. It takes more than 15 years for one of our product. Still, it is in kind of manufacturing. So it takes much time for us to come up with. It should be easy. It should be made easy for the startup industries, and we have to get recognition for our own products and things. So these are the hemostatic material in the market. If you wish to start any kind of hemostatic material, engineered in such a way that you just take there any kind of molecule so that it will arrest the blood flow. And what is the use of the gas? It should not generate any kind of carbon footprint. Keep it in mind, whatever the startup industry you are going to make up, you have to be very clean on the carbon footprint. You should not generate any kind of carbon footprint. You should not generate any kind of solid waste, liquid waste, because getting approval from pollution of the road and the city corporate and other things, it takes much issues for that. So, better simplify the process and get the product with the minimum waste generation. So these are the materials available here. And the next possible is the nanomedical device. Nowadays we are talking about nanomaterial for past 20 years, 2 decades we are talking about nanomaterials over there. What we brought out here, we didn't bring anything. It's all in the research. No products they come up. This is a kind of initial to understand what is the kind of size over there. So we know that nanometer is between 2 to 100 nanometer, and protein is 2 to 10 nanometers. Atom we know the 0.1 nanometer. Excuse me. So based on that, because we need medical devices and all these materials are available, we can very good resources. With that, we can develop so many number of medical devices. And mainly now the nano is ruling the world, we can develop that kind of materials. For example, nano robots are there, nano chips are there. Only thing is, mainly everything, all the medical devices, what we are focusing mainly for the repair work, the internal body organs. The external body things can be saved, it can be treated, it can be repaired with the kind of class of materials. The major issues on medical devices for the internal organs, we have to have a kind of targeted therapy. I want to target that tissue for kind of cancer treatment. Because whenever you are talking about cancer, we need to have a medical device. You should not affect the other neighboring tissues. You should affect only the targeted tissues. For that, we have to have a targeted devices. There, the nanomaterials are helping in such a way that we can't even imagine that. And moreover, the next thing is all these medical devices should be biocompatible and should have the functionality. That is most important. If it is not biocompatible, it can have very negative effect on the human health, and that we can't expect that kind of functions what you have developed over here. So biocompatibility is most important. Coming to the biocompatibility, It's a kind of material, the item. You should not cause any kind of reactions in the body system because it should be tolerable to biological reactions in clinical application and both active and non-active and the safety with the human tissues. This is what the relative people are saying that it should be safe. What we have number of implants, titanium-based implants in any kind of accident in the femur bone and other things, they put on devices for the support so that the person can walk, the victim can walk easily. But that devices should be compatible with the and it should do the function over there. And it can be tested in any kind of in vitro models. And for example, in the nano devices, we have so many number of delivery systems. We can use magnetic-based nanoparticles and light-based nanoparticles, ultrasound nanoparticles, and a chemical photosynthesis to work on that system. So everything is a kind of nano. It has a very good industry. People can work on that. There are so many resources not studied much. For example, recently enough, I got a review paper on this kind of what is it? Some Vadamalli உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் நினைக்கிறேன் இல்லையா Vadamalli பூ இருக்கு இல்லையா in that this is a kind of weed but there is a very good component to target the cancer tissues. This is what the new way of research is going on. But in India is known for traditional knowledge and medicine plants. So we have to work on more on that and then using exploiting these devices mainly for our own purpose. And this is the nano robots where the size is mainly from 0.2 to 10 micrometer. You can imagine that. It can this images from the web. It has been targeting mainly the virus so that these devices can be injected in the patient to perform diagnosis and it will be in the form of nanoscales. The nano robots are coming up in the market nowadays. People are, I like to appreciate the youngsters, the young generations, biomedical engineering students. They have come up with a very good new ideas. But only thing is, it should be a functional one. This is what idea can be there, but development, implementation, execution, marketing, everything matters over there. And this is the nano boards that will be available. And for the drug people are using that. And the most importantly, nanosurgery, whenever you are going to have any kind of neural effects and other things, people are using laser beams. It is a very good innovations in medical devices. It is a kind of femtosecond if you do the expose these laser beams to that. For example, in the right hand side, you can see the image over here, how the neural regeneration is there within the kind of femtoseconds. You can't even imagine that. The regeneration has been occurred over here. Because the right hand is the car, the right hand car is the control. There is no regeneration. There is the middle and the left side. You can see the regeneration is there by giving a nano surgery over here. So this is the quite innovative development in terms of medical devices is concerned over here. And we know that carbon nanotubes are mainly for the nanometers, for this nanosurgery and other things. We need nanometers that can be made up of carbon nanotubes, and these are quite very good. If I are working with the carbon, say the single bond carbon, multiple bond carbon nanotubes and other things. But still, we have all the basic infrastructures. They have carbon nanotubes. We can say that. But only the next level of using it is transforming them into nanometers. That is what is important. If you have a facility to develop your carbon material into nanometers, you are one of the richest person. People are in need of nanometers. If you can, it is an open platform. You can work on that. Take to develop nanometers. That will help the society in such a way. Then we have titanium. Titanium, we know that most of your people have that problem. You can approach doctor, dentist, and they can able to replace your tooth with the kind of titanium-based one. But still, there is an improvement in the titanium. There is a replacement by zirconia material. Why it is so? It forms some kind of gray appearance. People doesn't like that. So it has to be removed. For that, people switch over to the zirconia material. And it provides a satisfactory and aesthetic appearance for the patients. Zirconia is there. Now the ceramic is a wonderful material, but only thing is it is poor resistance. The brittleness is a challenge, but only thing is you have to engineer this ceramic materials and then you can even the needles and other things you can make it with the ceramics. And we know that carbon is a wonderful material you can develop or transform this kind of into any kind of devices. For that, you have to invest something and you can better it. Transforming any kind of devices into carbon material is not a challenging and all the methods and methodologies are available, and most of the industries are developing the carbon nanofiber. It is a kind of gift to our globally gift to the researcher and the manufacturer so that they can develop these carbon nanotubes or the carbon fibers in any kind of materials. So they can be used for cartilage applications, vascular applications, artificial eyes, artificial lungs, and everything. These kind of materials can be developed using this recent materials. And what happened, as already we know that, what is the devices during 18th and 19th century? Stethoscope, we have already seen that. So during 19th century, still we are using. It's a very good innovation. And quinine, we know that to treat the malaria. And aspirin, now we are using. There are so many number of development upgraded aspirin molecule to stop the pain and other things. And world's first blood transfusion has been introduced in 1988. And Professor Carl Lancer, after identifying the blood groups, it is easy for us to transfer the blood transfusion from one human to another human. And nitric oxide, completely we know that he is the one person, he is the scientist, he is the developed this kind of nitric acid. He identified nitric acid as an anesthetic agent without any pain and other things. And the antiseptic theory has been developed during 1867, and the cholera vaccines has been during 19th century. X-rays, mainly for the, as already told in bullets in wounded soldiers, that has been developed by Ramchan, we know that. And smallpox vaccines, Edward Jenner has developed the smallpox vaccines. Generally, we know that these pressure based on the very good interactions, we found that what are the disease, what are the reasons for the disease, what are the microorganisms responsible for the disease has been accepted over there. And leukemia was first the blood disorder exposed to the world in 1845. And pathogenic aspergillus, we know that. Aspergillus, I think, if you declare biological students, you know that if you are taking your you give our RNK or bread in the fridge, after 4 days, you can see a growth of black color fungus or mold over there. It's nothing but the aspergillus. It's very common. But he identified the pathogenic fungus in 1842. It opens a very good number of theories. Nowadays, it is for antibiotic resistance. The AMR studies this kind of research is quite useful. And hearing it nowadays with the kind of mobiles, earphones, and then the TV volumes and other things, most of the people are going with the kind of hearing aid, but it has been introduced during 1895. So nowadays you can see that there are so many number of advertisements are there. Even a hearing aid cost of around 2 lakhs is available over there. People are fascinated to have the hearing aid to have that hearing. But in earlier period, this hearing aid is not under use because people are not exposed to this kind of sound and other things. And coming to the 2006, 26 and beyond, what is going on in medical device industries? The top 10 medical device trends in 2026 and beyond is nothing but we know that ML and general AI. This AI is a kind of system which supports the physician as well as the human health in such a way that it's a tremendous. We can't even explain in such a way that what kind of ways. We know that just for writing paper or just for you can able to, but it has some negatives also. Whenever you are going to think and start writing, it will come and say put this word. So it's not acceptable, but somehow it can lessen the job. But in healthcare systems and human recovery treatment system, this AI role is unimaginable over here. But why it has been taken up set top 10 medical devices, mainly in all those things based on US only. So US only they follow they face the problem with the kind of technological issues during so many people tracking system has been ransomware. So then they started working with the kind of cyber security issues. And the Swiss-based industry, they developed their cyber security issues. And with the integration of IoT, integration of medical technology, it has been very good and it has been coming to the market. And AI-enabled medical devices is a multimodal patient data because mainly, even if you can go to hospital, no, whenever you are going to hospital, the doctor is sitting outside, sitting inside, and you have to cross so many number of rooms over there. First, you have to give your blood. First, then you have to go for a number of ICUs, like kind of scanning, blood test, urine test, motion test, hearing test, as well as the kind of chest and breathing test, and all your internal organ tests and other things. Everything will be you have to complete. Then only all the record will go to the doctor. Then based on the availability of doctor timings, they will go through your full report and then he asks you for personal interaction. Then based on the machine only, machine result only, he is going to prescribe the medicines. But in the earlier case, it is not like that. Most of the ideas, they just have the pulse reading and they immediately understand what is going on in your internal system. But nowadays, everything is machine oriented. You are just believing the machine results. Whatever the results the machine says, we have to accept and put in for that interpretation. AI plays a major role. It will interpret if there is a change in the HbA1c, you have to take this kind of medicine for this kind of things. So this AI, no need to have doctor. AI has given taking care of you in such a way that go to that test and give the result over here. It will be interpreted by AI. AI, how it will interpret? What are the knowledge we have given in the documentation? What are the available knowledge that has been taken by AI? It will interpret in a kind of seconds and it will just give a result. So you have to your urine levels, your creatine levels are this much. You have to go with this kind of medication. You have to go with the kind of food. So everything is a kind of AI-enabled systems is now making the human health more complicated or is a kind of a treatment. So we have both positive and negative, and it has mainly why AI has been accepted. There is an accuracy because human error will be there that is not there in the machine, and the precision it can be able to precisely. For example, AI-enabled devices mainly for the surgical systems. Doctors may cut any kind of small veins. They don't know about that one because they are not much practice. நம்ம எவ்வளோ சொன்ன மாதிரி 1000 பேர்த்த கொண்டவன் அரை வைத்தியது 1000 பேரை கொண்டாதான் அவனுக்கு உள்ள இருக்க சிஸ்டம் என்னன்னு தெரியும். But here, AI no need to give anybody else. It can go deep into that and it can say, this is the part you have to operate. This is the part where the tissue is not okay. For that, AI plays a major role here. And cybersecurity is the top one in the medical device defense. And we know that AI is not a kind of energy, no longer an energy. It's a core component of modern medical devices. We can't even imagine in the future, without AI, no medicine instruments or no medical devices is going to operate over there. And the impact is main thing is faster diagnosis, and as already told, enhanced precision, more accessibility. Anytime I can able to, anytime I can get back the report. In the report, in the report, this tissue is why the color has been changed. This bone is why there is a crack. This crack is due to the operation, or this crack is already done over here, or with the congenital that will be there. This type of questions we can raise based on the one single image. For example, any CT scan, any kind of X-rays and other things. That really play a major role and it gives a precise and accurate information for us to proceed further. What is the thing next? AI-driven medical devices are there, but what is the AI-powered sensor? wherever. That is nothing but you can sit in the home and your doctor will be there or somewhere else for any. You can't even call it as a doctor. It's a kind of interpretation or any kind of manager. That manager will give you information based on your data and other things that AI in the cloud platforms they are going to be able to make it. No need to go to hospital, no need to wait in the hospitals. If you are going to hospital nowadays, you have to pay 500 rupees or 1000 as a initial payment for to get the token, and then you have to wait for a longer time, and the nurse will come and he will wait. He will ask you the initial symptoms, and he will pass the message to the doctor. And in the presence of doctor, you are going to because of his busyness, he can't be able to spend time much more on you. Based on your information, he will suggest medicines for that AI is going to replace the doctors. They will be able to. So you can work with this, you can be there at home and your treatment will be taken care of by AI. And next steps, for example, the major thing nowadays, the wearable technology, we know that now wherever we can be there, we will be washed over through any kind. If there is in a cloud-based platforms, I am going to wear any kind of BP meter or glucose meter. I can be my data will be there in the cloud, and the doctors who are responsible over there, they can able to see that they can suggest over here. And mainly this is going to be play the major role in future. This wearable technology and India, especially in Tamil Nadu, most of the engineering colleges are working with the development of wearable sensor kind of thing, so that we can able to coming up with a Make in India program, number of devices over there. And moreover, the biomarkers, we know that nowadays the Parkinson's or Alzheimer's disease are coming up with the rate in such a way that we can't able to control. Why it is so? There are number of reasons for this kind of diseases. For that, these AI-enabled medical devices help us that they are, how they are, what kind of medicine they are going to take up. And moreover, the speech therapy and the sleep. And nowadays, most of the IT walas are not having very good sleep and other things. I have seen on WhatsApp message, there is one kind of a hand-like machine, sir. After 12, they will just they will give a kick or knock over there in your head, close your mobile. So that kind of information, that kind of devices, we are completely, our body is a machine, we know that. But the whole body is managed by another machine. That is nothing but the medical devices with the advanced systems over here. And the hospital at home solutions will be provided over here. And in wearable devices, so many westernized countries they have come up with the even the Asian countries. The Taiwan is they developed a 1912 made by 1912. It can able to give the infection prediction. That is smart wristband. It will be there. It will give you the temperature and the monitor the body heart rate and other things. And the Poland wala they have developed a just one portable device to record the physiological parameters like blood pressure, temperature, ECG. So this can be no need to go to any kind of device or no need to expose your body to any kind of machines because body machines are nothing but kind of rays. These rays are responsible for so many number of cancer tissues and other things. But this system, the wearable systems, they just support us in such a way that even without any kind of pain, any kind of ailment, we just make it as a wrist band and other things, it will give all the information. And the US-based gate says the pain controlling, mainly the pain. We know that even every patient, how much pain they are facing during the treatment or any kind of surgery, after post surgery and other things. The gate sensor, that is the starter, they developed a pain feeling, pain controlling wearable gate. It can be controlled. This is the kind of this knee pain can be controlled over there. If you face a pain over there, you just make it and then it will reduce the pain over there. And smart biosensor, like mainly the diabetic patients and other things, the biosensor, how much your things are there, mainly as well as for the respiratory and the COPD levels, how much it is there. The smart biosensors are like Nimowave, it has been developed with the startup, it has been there in the market. And other biosensors, we know that for the glucose and your oxygen level and other things. I think after our COVID, we started using how much the oxygen meter is there and our oxygen flow is there. It is all the machine-based ones. It will give a very good information and it will help us to do the correct treatment. And medical robots, they know that it's going to play the very big turnover or very big tremendous change in the surgical operations. And Da Vinci 5 is the fifth generation. Intuit is fifth generation Da Vinci. It is now clear in US and it is entered in Europe. And it has been demonstrated how far these robot-based surgical operations and other things in India. There is a very good. We have to appreciate our own Indian made. It's India's next leap in surgical robotics has been developed by Merrill company Merrill and this Mesoan 4000 in 19 September. Times of India it has been come. We have to pat up with ourselves. India has come up with the surgical robots by merit and it has been shown to be there in the global market. And here you can see the imagine. Robot will doing and the two doctors is just giving commands for the robots to move this side, that side, and this kind of also movement it can be there over there. So it is a very high advanced systems and even all the hospitals are not going to be a kind of small kind of it is a kind of sophisticated IT company kind of things which polished system will be there in future. Everything will be machine operated. And Thermophilis is provide a oral health, an Indian startup. They provide magnetic boards to understand mainly for the dental issues. The staphyloorganisms are there in that. No? So for that, how much the organism density is there, how much we can give the treatment and assess that has been given. And it's secured $1.2 million. We got a kind of our system, the Indian startup is developed. And IoT, you know that Internet of Medical Things, it may way is there. If IoT is there, no need to worry. You are given your whole body system to the machine, and it has been controlled. Or at what time you have to take food, what time you have to urinate. Your bladder is full, go on urinate. This kind of instruction it will be given. You know, don't want to go for urination if you are busy with the work and other things. It will just give a kick, go on the urinate first. So this is the kind of information that is going to be there, and it's mainly the based on the sensor and nature one why IOMT, that is Internet of Medical Things, has been coming up for taking a patient engagement, remote monitoring, and smart facilities. It is a kind of what I can say is whenever we are thinking about computer in the earlier period, the full room size computer has come up, and after we are going with the mobile. With that mobile, I can be able to check my glucose level and other things. Similarly, this IoT has come up with the cloud platforms. It has been there. It will monitor you and it will give a very good information for the doctors about the patients. Or no need to have doctors. It is a kind of doctor-like system will be there. There it will give interpretation and it will based on that the medicine can be taken up in the patient out there. And in Singapore startup, they have developed, it's nowadays menopause is the major issue for the women who is crossing 45 years. And it is they couldn't be able to come up with any kind of treatment. It's developed and it can be able to be based on the systems, all systems. Everything is a monitor. You are completely under monitor. You can't even go out without any kind of machines and other things. So it has been there in there. And 3D, without 3D printing, we can't even close the top. So we know that 3D printers are plays the major role mainly for the facial. People are giving importance of the facial remodeling and other things. If there is any kind of dental issues, the craniofacial facilities can be replaced with the kind of 3D printing, whatever the size and other thing, it can be applied and US-based companies has been approved by the FDA, and the US-based startup Visionary Solution, they slick and stent they have taken up, and it has been for the purpose. So 3D, I think most of the engineering college they have 3D printers, they have got it. Only thing is with that kind of machines come up with a new product to meet our own demand. And there is a statue of a patch, there is a paint test. I have already seen that. In that same kind of diagnostic purpose, US startup has come up with the kind of. These are all the startup companies. We can see in the recent 5 to 6 years, more number of startups have come up, and they have come up with very good devices to support our human healthcare system. And every baby is the kind of startup, Irish startup. It's a kind of they utilizes the electrical impedance spectroscopy to offer preterm birth diagnosis. Nowadays, so many miscarriages are there. Nowadays, so many issues with the newborn babies and everything. That kind of thing has been taken up by every baby startup over here. Now we know that people are having the kind of disability in speech, disability in kind of walking, and their brain computer interfaces and neurotechnology has come up. Neuralink is the first human implant. One second, please. Give me a time. Just give me a 1 minute. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I need water. This one. So till this time we have seen that so many devices, mainly for the organs and other things, we didn't even think about the brain. Nowadays, the brain-based system has come up over there in that. How we can able to make our brain to work, how we can able to make this disorders. There are so many Alzheimer's disorders and other things. And moreover, people, they don't know how to make use of their hands and other things because the brain doesn't have kind of signal. For that, there are so many startup companies has come up. They develop a system-based, AI-based system. It will give, for example, for your mouse movement or a kind of switch on the TV, they just see that, then immediately the system will be switched on like that. Like that, there is a development in such a way that people with no kind of movement also, they can work like a normal human being. They can watch TV, they can use emails and other things. So they have, these are the brain-based system they have developed. So all the startups are there, but globally it should be accepted over here. Then hospital to home, already we know that Wisdom IO is a US-based startup. They just give an ambient smart home system for the elderly, because in US we know that there are a number of elders, they are suffering like anything. Nobody is there to taking care of, but the whole the person or the elder person has been taken care of by the hospitals. They just remotely, they are just checking their health and other things, and all the powered wheelchair, and sitting in the wheelchair, they will be treated in such a way over there. Then, as already discussed over here, these are the top 10 medical devices. IOMT is a 3D printing point of contact. Mainly there, just no need to analyze. If you just provide like a pH paper, no, if you put it, will give an acid or base. So it's a kind of contact. That kind of devices need to be handheld diagnostic devices has to be there. Then brain computer systems will be there. Then hospital report. These are the technologies and these are the startup industries. They are in the market, and soon if they are going to rule the whole, they will rule the world in near future. What happened to the India? We already discussed that. India is the fourth largest Asian medical devices. We can just pattern with ourselves. But there is a long gap because of the so many number of regulations and other things. And based on the importance, in February 11, 2020, there is a definition has been changed for the devices. What it has been, that it is given us for devices are nothing but for the diagnosis, prevention, monitoring, treatment, or elimination of any disease or disorder, diagnosis, monitoring, the same thing will be there. Investigation, replacement, or modification, support of the anatomy or a physiological process, supporting or sustaining life, disinfection of medical devices, and control. This is based on the regulation. So whenever you are going for medical devices approval and other things, this is coming under drugs in the section 3B. The device, all this wearable devices, everything has been classified as medical devices. And in 2017, DCGA released a list of 247 devices classified based on their risk indicating their indemnity. In 2019, Health Ministry released a draft notification for registering the certain medical devices, and it has been listed 36 devices that will need registration with CDC CO through the online portal. It is there because we have so many number of regulations, so many number of tests are there. That's why we couldn't be able to come up with a product in the market. Then 2018, following devices, nebulizer, blood pressure monitoring devices, which they are all it has been under different regulations. And 2019, it has been given the it is proposed to create the medical devices administration to work parallel to the CDSCO under the Director General of Health Services. One of the reasons I can be about this may not have the relevant expertise to access the oversight in this. We know what to do, but we don't have a expertise in this field, but it needs to be corrected and it has been corrected already. And so in 1960, whenever we are going to, I didn't touch about the regulations because it is a long story. For class 1, what kind of regulation is there? Class 2, what kind of regulation? Class 3, what kind of regulation is there? But it is another talk I have to give on that. So with this, I think in Make in India program, we have some regulations mainly for our own Indian medical devices. And in the past, there were no regulations for medicals until the recent. Earlier period was not there because nowadays only we are just coming into so many number of devices. So we have to have separate regulations on that. I already told them, this the robotic surgery is a kind of innovative system over there, and it is a significant reduction in surgical complications compared with the ordinary laparoscopic methods. There, we have already discussed India's next leap, a revolutionary system integrated AI, 5G enabled telesurgery, and global collaboration features to put India at the forefront of medtech innovations. The medtech innovations in that we are going to the Merrill company has completely coming with the kind of robotic surgery system. It is a landmark moment for Indian healthcare and the global medtech. One of India's leading medical device companies, large meso and Endo 4000. This breakthrough innovation is set to redefine surgical precision accessibility while making India's arrival as a global hub for advanced robotic surgery. We have to pack up ourselves, though we are not with the number of startups and everything. This one thing can make us a global mark in the India is global mark in the global systems. And medical devices, we are going to have the roadmap. 2015, the inner circle, we have 3D printer surgical planning model, blue brain stimulation, VR. I didn't touch VR and AR. It is also integrated with the IoT and artificial intelligence, smart inhalers within 5 years. Then within 10 years, what happened to the tech? We got VR. We have thread-based diagnosis, DNA nanorobots have, biostamps have come up, neuroprosthesis have come out, smart contact lenses have come out in that. And after 15 years, within 15 years, what happened? Eye imaging, visual system, nano diamond based delivery systems, biohybrid kidney. We can have a very good kidney analysis and we can replace it, and intelligent balloon catheters. So we have, these are the medical device roadmap. Patient consumer data sharing technology will be complement to the 4 medical devices categories below by 2030. Everything will be integrated. So we have innovative surgical innovations, disease diagnosis, imaging, drug delivery and patient monitoring, assistive care. So everything is there. Our health will be okay. But there is a question mark. What is that? The food what we are going to take is matters for everything. The health monitors, your exercise, your fitness makes the system. So we like to have medical devices, but fortunately we should not have medical devices in our system. We need to be healthy. For that, we have to have a good habits, good sleep, good food, and good rest over here. I hereby request all the viewers Just take good sleep for 8 hours. That is more than enough. It will repair your cells. It doesn't lead to cancer. Because if you go and visit any cancer hospital, the sufferings you can't even imagine. Better keep your body healthy, take good food. With that, I can complete my talk. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Sorry, I took much time, it seems. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I leave now? Okay. Okay.